So mesoderm is the middle part, and the ectoderm, the ecto will always mean outside. Okay, so that would be the outermost layer of the germ layer. That's why, di ba, may naririnig din kayong ectomy. So, example, appendectomy, hysterectomy. So, ectomy, it means outside. So, what happens in the appendix of, pag merong appendectomy, nasa labas siya. So, nire-remove si appendix. Okay, so that would be very useful in the future kapag may na-encounter kayong mga prefix and suffixes. Okay, so for the ectoderm, okay, so ito sa mga boxes, makikita nyo kung ano yung mga certain organs and system na nag-arise from different germ layers. But since we are talking about we will be tackling later on about the integumentary system, the most important thing that you will have to remember, diba, sabi ko kanina, we have ectoderm, which is the outermost layer of let's say the outermost layer, diba? So that means one of the system na nag-arise coming from the ectoderm is the outermost part of the body of the person, which is the skin. That's why you have here on the box the epidermis of the skin. Okay, the rest, so you can familiarize yourself dyan po sa mga iyan. System na nag-arise coming from the ectoderm is the outermost part of the body of the types of person, which is the okay. So, diba? That's why you have here alam on the box what is the study of tissue, tissue-ology. Okay, the rest, of course, so you can familiarize yourself. Walang sasagot ng tissue-ology ha, sa exam ha. System. Maniwala kayo at sa hindi, may lumalabas na choices na mga delirium pills. Then syempre pala the types of person, which is the so, diba? That's why you have guys. So we have epithelial, connective, muscle, and nervous tissue. So for the epithelial, guys, for these tissues, guys, all you have to remember, okay, your key points na dapat nyo lang alalahanin is the function. Okay, once you know the function, it will be easier for you to know or to remember kung ano yung let's say anong tissue yung nandoon or anong organ yung nandoon. Okay, so for the epithelial, you have the lining, diba? And the function will be transport, secretion, and absorption. Mamaya meron pa yan, okay? For now, pinapasadahan ko lang. Then we have the connective tissue. So yun nga, from the name itself, connect. So for support, strength, and elasticity, okay? Next, we have the muscle tissue for movement, and the nervous tissue for information synthesis, or let's say relay of stimulus. Okay, and then communication and control. Next slide. Okay, so again, it's the same lang. Dito naman is kung saan siya located. Okay, let's take a look on this one. Nakikita ba? Clear. Diba hindi ako marunong mag-ano? Ganyan.
Yes po, ano po yun natin?
Yung
ano,
gusto ko yung may spotlight.
Okay. Ano po yun?
Hindi ko siya makita. Ayan. So, kindly chat na lang po sa Jason. May kita na spotlight. Sorry about that. We have... Sorry. That's Miss Andrea, 40 years. So, we have for the epithelial, di ba? We have the GI tract. Okay, and then other hollow organs. Guess pag sinabing hollow, walang laman. Okay, so si GI tract, it's a hollow organ. Wala siyang laman. Kailan lang siya nagkakalaman? Pag kumain ka. Diba? So you also have the skin surface, the epidermis. Okay? Now for the connective tissue, you have your fats, and your bones and tendons, and marami pa pong iba. Mamaya magtatakal yan. Then for the muscle, tatlo lang po yan. We have the skeletal, the smooth, and the cardiac. And for the nervous tissue, hindi mo yan makikita sa ibang parte maliban sa brain, spinal cord, and the nerve. So the nervous tissue, in short, is part of your nervous system. Next. So we'll have the epithelial tissue first. So there are classifications. You have according to cell shape and according to cell layers. Guys, all you have to do is to remember lang po yung kanilang let's say description and function, and pabalik-balik na rin kayo, malalaman nyo kung ano yung function ng certain organs na yan. For example, you have the squamous. So the squamous is thin and flat, and the function is for diffusion and filtration. Diba? Next, we have the cuboidal. So alam niyo naman na si cuboidal and si columnar, halos the same sila ng function. They have secretion and absorption, and they also have they can have microvilli or villi, which are hair-like projections. So yung cilia, di ba, or microvilli kapag nasa intestines, so they are for secretion and absorption. And ang main function or ang main use nila, okay, paano sila nakakapag-secrete na nakaka-absorb, it's through active transport and facilitated diffusion. Okay. Wait lang, ano ko siya mamaya. Okay, isa-isay natin sila. Then for the columnar, syempre yung tall and thin cells. And then it includes active transport, facilitated diffusion, and simple diffusion. Then for the transitional, which is the most unique, okay, it changes the shape from flat to cuboidal and then back. And this is situated in stretchable organs. Okay, mamaya meron tayong example. So, ano ba si diffusion and filtration, guys? Diffusion is the movement of substance from higher concentration to lower concentration. So, meaning, para hindi malito, ano ba? Lower ba o higher? So, diba? Just bear with my artistic drawings here. Paano ba yun nakalito, guys? All you have to do, diba? Tinuruan na tayo, grade 1 pa lang, alphabetical. So, diffusion from higher to lower. Tama ba? Nauna si HKL? Ayun. Diba? So, wag na malilito ha. Pag may tinanong sa exam, ano si diffusion? A, movement from higher to lower. B, movement from lower to higher. May 1 point pa kayo. Of course, si filtration, alam niyo na. Kilala niyo na si filtration, di ba? Parang embudo lang yan. So, it filters kung ano lang yung papasok doon sa certain organ na yun at kung ano yung mga hindi dapat makapasok or makalusot. Now, you also have active, ayun, tabak po. Ayun. So, we have si active transport. Okay guys, si active transport, kabaliktaran ni diffusion. Okay, kaya po siya tinawag na active transport. Kasi naturally, the particles will always go from higher concentration to lower concentration. Pero there are certain instances sa body natin na kailangan naman niya mag-move from lower concentration to higher concentration. Eh hindi niya yun magagawa kasi nga ang body na, ang natural movement ng particles is higher to lower. So anong kailangan niya? Kailangan niya ng tulong ng active transport, kailangan niya ng ATP, kailangan niya ng energy, kailangan niya ng lakas para ma-push niya yung molecules from lower to higher. Okay? Si facilitated diffusion naman, it's a diffusion. So meaning from higher to lower but with an aid of a certain substance. So dito papasok sila receptors. Dito papasok yung mga channel, calcium channels, potassium channels. Ayan, yan yung mga channel. Kaya may channel para makapasok si calcium, calcium channel. Para makapasok si potassium, calcium channel. So pag may nakita kayong tanong, what mechanism is included or is defined by ganito with the use of channel. Pag nakita yung channel, guys, that's facilitated diffusion. Okay? Now, let's go to the cell layers. For the cell layers, there are 3. So, simple, pseudo-stratified, and stratified. So, for simple, kaya simple, 1 layer. And ang function niya is to move materials. So, meaning, mamaya, diba? Si pseudo means false. Okay, false, stratified. Stratified means multiple layers. Mukha lang siyang multiple layers, pero hindi pala. Nililin lang ka lang ng iyong paningin. And this is because doon sa position ng kanyang mga nuclei. So para siyang single layer pa rin siya. For example, ganyan-ganyan siya. Diba? Sample lang yan, guys. Huwag nyo i-judge, ha? Ayan. So, ayan, si nucleus nandyan, si nucleus nandyan. O, diba? Hindi sila pantay. Pag tinignan mo siya, mukha siyang maraming layers, pero actually, isang layer lang siya. Okay? Parang may optical illusion. Next, we have stratified. And this is multiple layers, and the main function is to protection. Okay? So, sa next slide natin, may makikita kayong squamous, or may makikita kayong simple squamous cells. So, anong function ni simple squamous cells, guys? Sige nga, try na natin bago natin pa next slide. Chat niyo, guys. What is the function of your simple squamous cells? Guys, kaya niyo yan. Huwag kayong mahihiya. I'll give you answer, okay, for this one. So the function of simple squamous is to move materials and aid in diffusion and filtration. Diba? So, for example, move materials daw, diffusion and filtration. What organs ang merong diffusion? You have your lungs, diba? Diffusion of exchange of gases, diba? You have for filtration. Anong organ na nag-filtrate? You have your kidneys, diba? So, ganun siya. So, for example, next, you have your simple cuboidal. Guys, isipin nyo lang, ano ba yung function ni simple and ano ba yung function ni cuboidal? So, secretion, absorption, and so on and so forth. Okay, next slide. Try natin. The next slide po. Thank you. So you have, ito yung kanina sabi ko, simple squamous. And kanina, di ba nabanggit, the squamous will be found on the linings. So you have linings of your blood vessels and your heart. Kasi po sa blood vessels, may diffusion na nangyayari, di ba? Transport, anong diffusion yun? It's the transport of oxygen and your carbon dioxide. Tama? Okay. Then you have your lymphatic vessels. And ito yung sinabi ko kanina, alveoli of the lungs. Na dahil nandoon si exchange of gases naman. Yung dito yung kanina, yung sabi ko sa blood vessels, it's the waste products. Okay, yung ibibigay niya yung oxygen sa tissue. Halimbawa, ibibigay niya yung oxygen doon kay kidneys kasi kailangan ng kidney si oxygen, di ba? And then, as a waste product, ibibigay niya ngayon si carbon dioxide doon kay tissue. Doon kay blood vessels, 'di ba? Tapos si blood vessels dadalhin niya yung carbon dioxide kanino? Kay lungs. And ibibigay niya yung carbon dioxide kay lungs. In return, ilalabas ni lungs yung carbon dioxide sa environment, and in return, magbibigay ulit sa lungs ng oxygen. And i-deliver niya ulit sa throughout the body. So yun yung nandito kay blood vessels. So kay alveoli, ito na-explain ko. Carbon dioxide and oxygen. So you have your kidney tubules, diba? Via filtration. So for example, sa kidney tubules natin, hindi dapat dadaan doon or hindi dapat makakalusot yung mga large molecules. Ano yung example ng large molecules? You have your proteins, you have your sugars, your glucose. Malalaking particle po yan sila. Hindi sila dapat nakakalusot sa ihi mo. Dapat walang proteins and walang glucose sa iyong ihi. And nangyayari yan because of filtration. Diba? Ganun sa embudo. Ano yung embudo? Ano yung ibig sabihin? Funnel. Yan. Funnel. You're so funnel. Charot. Huwag niyo pansinin yan. Edit niyo yan. Okay, you have your funnel, di ba? For example, yung may mga lalaking sago. Di ba, hindi makakalabas yung, hindi makakalusot yung malalaking sago doon, di ba? Try nyo. Diba? So, it's the same concept kapag dating kay kidney. So guys, kapag nagpa-urinalysis kayo or may kamag-anak kayo, nagpa-urinalysis at pina-check sa inyo dahil nga maniwala kayo at sa hindi, kahit first year kayo, pag nalaman ng kapitbahay ko na kumukuha kayo ng nursing, magtatanong yan sa inyo.
Parang strainer din.
Oo, yun, parang strainer. Yung salaan, parang strainer din, di ba? Yung mga maliliit lang yung mga kalusot, yung matitira, yung malalaki. Nung bata kayo, di ba nakikisali kayo sa construction, yung buhangin na ginaganon, buhangin lang yung lumulusot, yung mga bato, naiiwan. So it's the same mechanism. Okay, so pag nakita sa urinalysis, may nakita doong, may mga glucose. So, ayan, sabihan nyo na, di ba? No? Huwag niyong takutin, ha? Baka sabihan niyo may diabetes kayo. Sabihin niyo lang na pa-check niyo po kasi yung sugar hindi supposedly lalabas sa ihi. Diba? So, baka po merong something, diba? So, check po. Mga ganun. Or yung proteins, diba? Except for, may exemption. Sino lang ang umiihin ng protein? Hi guys, sa mga nandito. Isa lang ang umiihin ng protein na normal, si buntis. Okay, pero syempre merong level yon. Kasi mapag-aaralan yun sa second year, meron siyang numbers, ba? Plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4. Okay, pag hindi ka buntis, huwag kang umasang may protein sa ihi mo, ha? Baka matuwa ka pa, hindi yan normal, okay? So yan po si filtration. Then you have, again, the lining. So sa body cavities, pleural, pericardial, and the peritoneal. Okay, si pleural nasa lungs. Tama? Pleural, it's in the lungs, guys. Si pericardial, cardial, nasa heart. Then si peritoneal, nasa peritoneum, nasa stomach, nasa abdomen. Okay, so aside from protection niya, aside from, let's say, movement, it also serves as protection from friction. Okay, kaya po si pleural, si pericardial at si peritoneal, meron yan silang in between. May mga interstitial fluids yan dyan sila para hindi magkiskisan. Okay, yung pinaka-outer lining ng isang organ at yung kasunod ng organ. Okay, kapag wala yan, magkakaroon ng friction, magkakaroon ng injury, di ba? At kapag may injury, ma-alter yung function ng isang organ. You have your simple cuboidal. So, same pa rin si kidney, tubules, and so you also have the glands and their ducts, the pharynx plexuses. This is part of your nervous, of the brains, nakasulat pala. And then the terminal linings of your bronchioles, lungs, surfaces, and ovaries. Ano nga po ulit meron si cuboidal, saka si columnar? They have, sige, mag-ano tayo dito. Ano tawag doon? Joke lang. Okay. So we have, aside from their shapes, na, let's say na cubes and pahaba, they may have villi, di ba? So, si villi, again, di ba, pwedeng si cilia. Si cilia is your hair-like projection. So, bakit, anong purpose ng iyong cilia sa buhay mo? Siya yung nagsisweep out ng
Parang isa
mga nagsisweep up ng mga waste. Okay? Away from your body. Okay, yun, winawalis niya. Tama. So, si bronchioles, di ba, sa lungs mo, meron siya dyang mga hair-like projections. Okay, lahat ng papasok na irritants, itatry niya na paalisin sa iyong baga. Kaya ka nauubo. Very good. Thank you. Tanggalin. Ayun. Next, also, ayan. So, si columnar, dahil same naman sila, di ba sabi ko sa inyo, the same lang yan sila. Only the bronchioles. Okay. We also have, ito yung kanina sinasabi ko na for the stomach, intestine, gallbladder, and bile ducts. Diba? Naalala nyo kanina doon sa previous slide, isa din sa function ni columnar and cuboidal is for the secretion and absorption. So, saan ba pwedeng may mag-absorb? Sa stomach, di ba? Kapag hindi na-absorb yung pagkain mo, sa iba lalabas yan, di ba? Kailangan ng absorption dyan, di ba? For your intestine as well, then your gallbladder and your bile ducts are responsible for the secretion. So, si stomach and sa intestine, merong mucus secretion na tinatawag. Okay? Yun yung nagpa-facilitate sa digestion. And sa absorption, di ba? Sa stomach, yan ang i-store ang iyong pagkain, and sa intestine, that is where your main absorption takes place. Okay? So, pag may tanong sa anatomy, where does the main absorption of nutrients takes place? Sa intestine. Okay, natin the stomach. Si gallbladder naman, anong meron kay gallbladder? It's the bilirubin. Susulat ko siya. Mamaya, makikita niyo siya. Ang hirap magsulat. Bear with me. So, do you have your bilirubin? Okay. So, si bilirubin, that is your yellowish pigment. Okay. And this is actually a byproduct of your hemoglobin. Si hemoglobin, talala nyo sa RBC, sa red blood cell, nagpo-produce siya ng hemoglobin. Byproduct niya is bilirubin. So, pag byproduct is a waste product. Okay, so your gallbladder magpo-produce ng bilirubin. Sorry, not magpo-produce. Mag-i-store. Sorry about that. Okay, and then si bilirubin is supposedly masisikret po yan dapat sa iyong pupo. That's why your pupo is yellowish. Okay, kapag meron kang problem sa liver, gallbladder, bakit may liver? Check nyo, search nyo anatomy of the liver. Ayan, karugtong niya si gallbladder, andun siya. Okay, so that's why kapag may problem ka sa liver or sa gallbladder, nag-yellowish yung body mo. Kasi instead na nilalabas yung bilirubin, sobra-sobra yung bilirubin sa circulation mo. Okay? And then we have the ventricles of the brain. Yung mga may highlight, yun yung mga most likely na yung pinaka-common na kung saan mo siya nakikita. And most likely na lumalabas sa mga questions. Kaya sila naka-highlight this. And then you have your pseudo-stratified columnar epithelium. So pseudo, false, stratified, false layers, and then ang shape niya ay pa-columns. And then, ayan, lining pa rin ang nasal cavity, your nasal sinuses, your auditory tubes, pharynx, trachea, bronchi, lungs, and epididymis in the male urethra. Okay, ano nga ulit yung function ni columnar? Di ba? For secretion, for absorption, ano pa? For protection. Oh, yeah. So, yan din yung function niya nila, guys. Okay? Next po. Mabagal ba? Bibilisan ko, guys. Baka na may mga chat. Baka pinapabilisan na ako. I'll make it faster po ha, kasi may mga ano pa tayo. Pero pag may hindi nakakasunod, just let me know. Then you have your stratified squamous. So, tapos na tayo kay simple, dito na tayo kay many layers. So, sa many layers, keratinized. So, may keratin siya. Alam niyo na yan, guys. Mamaya didiscuss din yan. Outer layer of the skin. And you have your non-keratinized. Okay, so ano ba yung mga non-keratinized na stratified? So your mouth, your throat, larynx, esophagus, anus, vagina, inferior urethra, and your cornea. Okay, ano ulit ang function ni squamous? Tsaka ni stratified. O, alalahanin nyo. Okay, yun yung function ng mga organs na ito. Okay, so pag may tanong, halimbawa, what is the main function of the genital? Okay, so yan sila. Case. Now, you also have cuboidal stratified. So, almost the same lang, di ba? So, ducts of sweat glands, your esophageal glands, and parts of the male urethra. So, glands, that's your stratified cuboidal. Except for mammary glands. Ayun siya. Okay, wala yung si mammary gland, guys. Okay? So pag may nakita kayong blends, guys, most likely that is stratified cuboidal. Dun sa option, sa tanong. And last is your very unique transitional. Kanina nga, di ba, its unique function is to change its shape. Stretchable siya, and meron nun si urinary bladder, or in Tagalog, your pantog. Okay. So kapag nagpo-produce ng urine si kidneys, okay, nai-store siya doon kay urinary bladder. And habang dumadami yung ihi na nandoon kay urinary bladder, lumalaki ang iyong puson. Tama? Diba? Mabigat, lalo na pagtulog ka, tapos nagising ka sa umaga, diba? Pili mo punong-puno siya. Diba? So, it's your transitional cells na nagpa-function doon kay urinary bladder. O try mo kapag hindi transitional yung cells ng urinary bladder, baka pumutok na yan, diba? So, yeah. Usually, lumalabas to si urinary bladder, si transitional, kasi siya yung pinaka-naiba sa lahat. Next. Yes, di ba nakamove on na tayo? Connective tissue. Okay, so you have two major components, your cells and their extracellular matrix. So yung extracellular, extra sa labas ng cells. Okay, so for the cells, you have your fibroblast, macrophage, mast cells, and WBC. Guys, it's very simple. Fibroblast, it's flat, and it secretes fibers. F, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, ground substance. Diba? Wala na magkakamali sa pag tinanong sa exam Okay. So you also have your macrophages. But kaka-initial ko na sulatan ko rin si macro. Actually, ito yung gusto kong i-underline. Okay, your macrophage comes from your white blood cells. And these are cells that it's bacteria. It's bacteria and cell debris. Kapag may narin kayong phagocytosis, it's cell eating. Okay. Pag pinocytosis, it's cell drinking. Bantaray ng cells, umiinom na at kumakain na, may pantulak pa. Okay, so guys, kahit saan kayo mapunta, pag may nakita kayong phago, ayan, alam niyo na, kumakain siya ng bacteria. Then you have your mast cells. These are found in your blood vessels and they produce histamine. O yung mga familiar sa antihistamine, saan nyo ginagamit ang antihistamine? You have your Benadryl, your cetirizine, saan siya ginagamit? Very good for allergy. So si mast cells is na-activate kapag may allergic reaction. Then you have your WBC or your white blood cells. So for this particular connective tissue, tatlo yan actually si neutrophil, eosinophil, and si basophil. But for this, ang specify is neutrophils and your eosinophils. So for neutrophils, they are activated when there is an infection. And then, the eosinophil is activated when there is allergy. Okay, yeah, allergy. They are also linked with parasitic infection, but most commonly, eosinophil, madalas is for allergy. So guys, kapag meron kayong CBC, complete blood count, at nakita nyo mataas si neutrophil, may infection na. Pag mataas si eosinophil, baka may allergy siya. Or parasitic infection. Si basophil for parasitic infection din. Okay? Next, we have your extracellular matrix. So, nasa labas ng cell, you will find collagen, elastic fibers, and your ground substances. Okay, so si SEG. Okay, collagen, elastic fibers, and ground substances. Si collagen, it's a protein. Strong, flexible protein. And pag may tanong, what is the most abundant protein in the human body? It's your collagen. Then you have your elastic fibers. Elastic, parang goma. It's stretchable. Okay. So you have your proteins, your elastin, and fibrillin. Guys, pag may nakita kayong terms na may in, elastin, fibrillin, that's most likely a protein. Nagkakatunod, di ba? Next, these are found in your skin. Diba? Pamaya, i-discuss natin yung mga parts ng skin na stretch. And bakit nagkakaroon ng stretch marks. Then you have your blood vessels. Diba guys, nagdadilate siya, nagko-constrict siya, hindi naman siya pumuputok. Diba? It's because it contains elastic fibers. Puputok lang siya kapag merong aneurysm. Ano si aneurysm? O, search nyo. Masyado na tayong advanced pag gano'n. Okay, but the aneurysm, diba, it's a condition of the blood vessels. It's life-threatening. And then you have your lung tissues. So we also have your ground substances. So these are found between the cells and fibers, and they are made of water and organic molecules. Okay, so mamaya, alalahanin niyo yung mga function, guys, ha? Be familiar. You don't have to memorize, just be familiar. Dito, ano ba si macrophage, mast cells, WBC? Mamaya may tanong ako. Next slide. Sana matapos ko anytime this month, di ba? Next slide po. Well, you have your classification of connective tissues. You have your loose and your dense. And marami pa. Okay. So, let's tackle first the loose. Naka-summarize na po yan. You can screenshot if you want. Areolar, adipose, and reticular. For areolar, mostly collagen and few elastin. So, ibig sabihin, collagen, it's strong. It's for support. Dagdag na lang si nourishment. And this is widely distributed and attaches skin to underlying tissues. Okay, sige, try nyo si skin hindi naka-attach kay underlying tissues. Imagine niyo na lang, di ba? And imagine kung how strong si areolar. Imagine mo nakadikit si skin mo sa iyong mga underlying tissues, sa iyong muscles, subcutaneous. Diba? Then you have your adipose, produced by your adipocytes. Whenever you see sites, that's his cell. Monocytes, adipocytes, sites. Adipose, it's your fats. Fats. Ayan. Kaya ko to, guys. Okay. So, fats is used for thermal insulator. Hindi ka lalamigin. So, swerte kaming mga chubby. Diba? And energy storage. So, pag kami nagutom, may lakas pa rin kami kayo, lupasay na. Tama. Also, pag kami walang makain, kami papayat pa lang. Kayo, buto ka lansay na. Diba? May ano, diba? May benefits din pala ang mga chubby. Hindi, tama, correct. Hindi kami nilalamig. Okay? Kasi madami kaming adipose. And caution, diba? Kaya nga masarap kaming mahalin. Masarap kami yakapin. Joke lang. Kaya minsan pag nababangga kami, hindi ganong masakit. Okay? Kasi hindi naman buto yung agad na tama. Looking for it. Talaga ba? Okay. So you have your subcutaneous areas. Alam niyo ba yung subcu, guys? You have your intradermal, your subcutaneous, and your muscles. Okay. So nasan sa subcutaneous? Intradermal, subcutaneous, muscles. So nasa gitna. Okay. So kapag tinanong ka, nasaan yung mga maraming fats? Nasa subcutaneous. Guys, have you ever tried to open ng mga hayop? Hayop, manok, baboy, yung taba doon. Okay, that's your subcutaneous. Yung nasa loob. Or try to search nyo po sa Google. Pag yung yellow, ba hinati? Autopsy. In-autopsy yung body, hiniwa. Meron itong mga yellowish. And then minsan makikita nyo siya bilog-bilog. Parang ganun. That's your fats. That's your adipose. And you can find them in your mesenteries. These are in your intestines. Your renal pelvis. Your sa kidney yon, guys, renal kidney. Okay? Your colon, that's your intestine. And your mammary glands. Kaya po pag chubby, malaki rin ang kanilang hinaharap. Okay, so pag pumayat sila, Diba? Mawawala rin yung hinaharap nila. Unless na lang nasa genes. Okay, and again, so anong function nila nito? Ang mga adipose na to sa mga organs na to for, ayan, di ba? For thermal energy and for cushion. For protection. Okay, si mesentery. If nakapag-try kayo humawak or makakita ng bituka ng baboy, di ba yung minsan may, yung alam niyo yun yung parang, diba? Yung may madulas or yung pag ginanon nyo, pag in-stretch siya, merong sumasama. That's your adipose. Okay, mga taba-taba doon. Then you have your reticular. They are irregularly arranged and they are superstructure for your lymphatic and hemopoietic tissues. Okay, so hemopoietic and lymphatic mamaya. Okay. Lymphatic, so si lymph nodes. Kasama ni lymph nodes si spleen and hemopoietic si bone. Bakit po si hemo nasa bone? Because the blood is produced by your bone. No blood, the blood cells are produced by your bone. Okay, si RBC, sa bone siya nanggagaling. Okay, next po. Next, ayun, you have your dense. You have your dense, regular, dense. You have your collagenous and your elastic. Meron pa po yan sa irregular naman. Dense irregular collagenous and dense irregular elastic. But these are the two most common. So, dahil nga dense, pag sinabing dense, magkakadikit-dikit yung kanyang collagen. So, di ba si collagen strong? So, pag dikit-dikitin mo pa siya, it can withstand great pulling forces. So, saan siya makikita? Kay tendons and ligaments. I have a question. Anong pinagkaiba ni tendons and ligaments? They are connective tissues. They connect, siyempre connect, di ba? They connect what? So, for ligaments, they connect bone to bone. Ligaments, bone to bone. Tendons, muscle to bone. Okay. Minsan ginagawa ko para maalala ko, si tendon, di ba N? Ano ba kasunod na N? Di muscle. N. Si D, baliktad ko, copy. Muscle to bone. Or bone to muscle. Then sa ligament is your bone to bone. Then you have your organ capsules. And again, ganun pa rin, blood vessels. Kailangan matibay ang inyong mga ugat. Okay? Bakit? Mamaya i-discuss yan pagdating na doon kay blood. Blood is also a connective tissue. What else? Speaking of tendons and ligaments, what's the difference between the sprain and the strain? Sprain and a strain. So, sinong nasisira sa strain? Sinong nasisira sa sprain? Okay, so I give you a clue. Strain. Diba? Pakiintindi na lang po yung sulat. Ayan. Okay, strain has T. So, sinong affected? Si tendons. Okay, so si sprain, doon tayo sa kabila. Okay? Wala nang malilito pag may tinanong dyan, ha? So, halimbawa, an athlete, ganito, ganyan, nag-basketball, na-aksidente, and nagkaroon ng strain. Ano daw ang affected sa kanya? Tendons. Then, you also have your dense regular elastic. Okay, regular elastic. Diba? For stretching. And para siyang goma, after nyung ma-stretch, babalik din siya sa dati. So, it's your vertebral column, your vertebrae. Yung likod, nasa likod. Diba? Pag yumuko ka, diba? Bumabalik ka naman sa dati, tama? Pag yumuko ka, nakakatayo ka ulit. Nababali-balikod mo? Hindi naman, diba? O, pag yumuko ka, dorsal aspect of the neck. Pero in short, batok lang yan, guys. Okay. Hindi naman nabali yung likod yung batok mo dyan. Then you have your vocal cords. Pag sumisigaw ka, diba? That's why yung iba napapaos. It's because may strain yung kanilang vocal cords. lumalampas na sila sa elasticity. So yung mga magigaling kumanta, yung mga matataas yung range, wow, you have a very dense, regular elastic vocal cords. Abot nila ang matataas na notes. And then, again, ayan ulit si blood vessels. Next po. Ayan. Okay. So, cartilage, nagchachapi daw ako. Kaya ko to.
Nasa dapat ka ba?
Sorry guys, choppy ba? You have your hyaline, your fibrocartilage, and your elastic. Okay. So, si hyaline, nasa long bone ako ng mabang dos. Choppy po, ma'am. Okay. I will try to off cam. Ayan. Mag-off ako ng camera. Rinig na ako. Better na ba? Or choppy pa rin?
Better po, ate.
So, mag-off na lang ako ng camera ha. Kahit gusto nyong makita ako. Okay. So, your long bones. So, what are your long bones? Diba? You have your femur. Asa ng femur? Nag-skeletal na ba kayo, guys? Skeletal
Ulitin mo daw yung
system.
Yung pinaka-intense.
Okay, sorry. Ulitin ko na lang daw. So, for cartilage, ito, you have the 3. For the hyaline, this is situated, or the function will be the growth of your long bones. And these are rigid. Okay, so pag sabing rigid, hindi mo yan nagagalaw. O, try mo baliin yung long bones mo. Kaya mo. Diba? Your femurs, diba? Yung arms mo, those are your long bones. Okay, you also have your trachea, and then your ribs. Your ribs are very rigid with some flexibility. Bakit kailangan flexibility continuity ribs? Para makahinga ka. Tama? Pag nag-inhale ka, paano kapag hindi gumagalaw yung ribs mo? Hindi na nag-facilitate hindi na lumaki yung yung lungs, di ba? So it needs some flexibility. And your nasal cartilages. O yung buto mo diyan sa iyong ilong, di ba? It's rigid pero sometimes pwede mo siyang sorry, naka-off cam ako. Sige, try niyo na lang hawakan yung nose bridge niyo. Okay. Legs raw po. Yes, correct. Long bones. Okay. So, pag may tanong doon, okay, which part of the body has hyaline? Okay. Wala nakasulat doon na long bones. Mga bones, pero walang nakalagay doon. O kaya may nakasulat doon. Except, hanapin mo yung hindi long bones na yun. Diba? Halimbawa, merong legs, o femur, then merong humerus, arms. Diba? And then merong naligaw, diba? Na hindi siya long bones. Yun yung sagat. Then you have fibrocartilage. It's somewhat flexible and withstand pressure. Okay. Parang halos sila. Okay. So you have your intervertebral disc. Nasa gitna ng inyong vertebral disc. So, yung vertebral disc mo, for example, ayan. Ayan. Okay. Ito, yung nandito sa gitna niya. Kapag yumuyuko ka, lumalaki yung space dyan. Okay. Lumalaki yung space. Kapag nagsa-stand erect ka, nagtitikit silang dalawa. Okay. That's why it's somewhat flexible and yet it can withstand pressure. Then you have your pubic symphysis. Okay, si pubic symphysis, yung when it comes to girls, yung nasa harap, yung lumalaki, yung puson, yung buto doon sa may bandang puson mo, that's your pubic symphysis. Okay, o kaya nga pag may nanganganak, di ba, lalo na pag vaginal delivery, hindi naman nawawasak yung pubic symphysis mo, di ba? So, because it's somewhat flexible, it can withstand pressure. Kalain ba lumabas na bata, di ba? Then you have your knees. Sobrang tibay ng buto sa knees. And your TMJ or your temporomandibular joint. Yung panga. Kaya nga kahit anong kinakain mo, di ba? It can withstand pressure. Okay. Then you have your elastic cartilage. So for your elastic, it's more flexible than your hyaline. So you have your external ears. O, galawin mo yung tenga mo. O, di ba? Naputol ba? Hindi naman, di ba? You have your epiglottis. Alam niyo si epiglottis yung nandun sa loob ng, sa may throat nyo banda. Ito yung, halimbawa lang, pagpasensyahan nyo na. This is your epiglottis. Ito siya. Itong structure na to. Ayan. Ayan. Sana hindi nabura. So, ayan. Si epiglottis, kapag huminga ka, mag-open yan. Para makadaan si air. Papasok si air, mag-open yan. Kapag lumunok ka, mag-close yan. Bakit? Para hindi makapasok yung pagkain sa lungs mo. Kaya merong nabibilaukan, yung mahilig magsalita habang kumakain, nabibilaukan sila kasi naman nalito na si epiglottis, sasara ba siya o bubuka? Diba? It's flexible. Sorry. Yes. Then you have your elastic, then you have your bone. So si bone, for strength, support, and protection. And wag na malito, lahat ng bones. Okay, next. Slide, please. Ayan. Okay, so you have your fluid. Fluid ba to? Parang may mali. You have your skeletal, your cardiac, and your smooth muscle tissue. Parang may mali ako dito. Okay. So, tatlo. Guys, sa tatlong ito, ang non-striated lang ay si smooth. And ang voluntary lang ay si skeletal. Okay? So, si skeleton for your movement. And you can find this in your bone and connective tissue. Then you have your cardiac. Walang ibang, hindi mo yan makikita kundi, sige pa. You have your striated, your heart. Okay, si cardiac muscle ay nasa heart lang and it's for contraction and pumping of the blood. Then you have your smooth. And makikita mo siya kay stomach, intestine, skin, and your eyes. That's all you have to remember. So, okay. Yung function niya, eto siya. Anong function niya kay stomach? Ayan, intestine, kay skin, and kay eye. Ito, kay skin yung goosebumps. Okay, next. Next po. Yan. Ayun, sabi na nga, may mali ako eh. Yung kanina, that's your muscle tissue. This one, this your fluid tissue. Sorry guys, nagkamali ka copy paste ng slide. Okay, so again, this is your fluid. Yung kanina, that's your muscle. Okay. You have your blood and your hematopoietic. So for blood, ito siya. Oxygen, carbon dioxide, your hormones, your nutrients. In short, lahat po is dumadaan or lahat po ay nata-transport through your blood. Okay? And yung kanyang carrier or yung kanyang, mode of transport is the blood vessels. Okay? Yung mga ugat mo dyan. Your veins and your arteries and your capillaries. For your hematopoietic, you have your red and your yellow marrow. So for your red marrow, na doon mo makikita sa red blood cells, si white blood cells, and si platelets. And your yellow marrow, it's your fat. Kaya sabi ko kanina, yellowish ang color ni fats. Medyo yellowish. And makikita mo siya sa center of most bones. Okay? Next slide, please. And your nervous, so you have your neurons. Transmit information through action potential. Okay, makikita mo lang siya guys sa tatlong yan. You have your cell body, your dendrites, and your axons. Your cell body is the site of your general cell function. Your dendrites, ito lang pong gusto ko maalala nyo, axon, away. Okay, so yung dendrites towards. Okay, away from the body. Next is your neuroglia. Walang impulse pero it's a supporting cell and ito yung kanyang function. So guys, just familiarize yourself with your function. Yun na rin yung pinaka-function ng iyong connective tissue. Same with your epithelial tissue. Kung ano yung function na nabanggit doon, yun din yung function in general ng epithelial tissue. Next po. Ayun. Titest pa ba? Okay. So ito na lang. All are functions of nervous tissue except. Sipin nyo yung function na nandoon kanina. Response to stimuli, provides support for the body, receives and relays signals, coordinates conscious activities. What's your answer? Ayun. Very good. B, provides support for the body. Next po. Galing. Next slide. Okay. The major portions of many human glands are composed of blood, muscle, nervous, or epithelial. What's your answer? Walang mag-google dyan, I'll give you a clue. What is the largest organ of the body ulit? It's your skin. And your skin is a what? What kind of tissue? Epithelial. Diba? Basta alam niyo lang guys, like yung pinaka basic concept, you will not get lost. Okay? Actually, kahit ako nga isipin ko nga blood daming dugo sa so body, diba? Pero actually the answer is epithelial. Next po. Okay. Tendons and ligaments are strong because they are composed of strong daw. Alin kaya ang strong dyan sa apat? Ayun. It's your dense. Regular. Diba sabi ko magkakadikit para maging mas strong siya. Very good. Next slide. Integumentary. Be, can you give me another 10 minutes for integumentary? Susunod na din si Prince. No daw. Si Prince ang next. Pero itong kasi yung accessory yung kanya. Please. Sorry. Sige na. 10 minutes. Please.
Go, Prince, go tayo dito. Kaya mo naman siguro ng 10 minutes, no? Sige.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Thank
Go
you.
ate.
10
Sige
minutes
po.
lang, guys. Please,
Ako, sige
sabihan
po.
niyo
Sure,
ako if 10 minutes na. Thank you. I'll make it fast. For the integumentary, so it's your skin, hair, oil, sweat glands, nails, and your sensory perception. Ayun nga, largest organ. So, ayan ang kanyang description. Next po.
External largest.
Okay, so major functions for protection. So, first line of defense is your skin, and it's for UV barrier, and it prevents dehydration. Okay. Paano siya nakakapag-prevent ng dehydration? By blocking, okay, yung mga water molecules from escaping your body. That's why kapag nasunog ang tao, okay, biktima ng burns, prone siya sa dehydration kasi wala na yung kanyang first line of defense, which is the skin. Okay, then you have your sensation. Of course, you have your pain and your sensation for temperature. Your vitamin D production. This is very important for calcium absorption. Guys, si calcium hindi yan ma-absorb kapag wala si vitamin D. Ang skin natin is rich in vitamin D, but we need UV rays to activate it. Okay, kaya magpa-araw kayo, guys. Okay. We have your temperature regulation. So, mechanism is through blood flow. Okay? So, kapag mainit yung skin mo, most likely, yung blood flow mo is nandun sa particular na skin na yan. Okay? And usually, kapag may fever, di ba? Kasi to fight infection. And also, activity of sweat glands. So, temperature regulation. Kapag naiinitan ka, ma-activate yung sweat glands mo, mag-open yung pores mo para pagpawisan ka. Okay? Then your excretion through perspiration. That's where your waste products napupunta. Next po. For your skin receptors, you have your light touch. You have your Meissner. Okay, so you have the palms, soles, lips, eyes, external genitalia, and nipples. These are very sensitive. Pag may tanong ano yung most sensitive, let's say, among the following, which is the most sensitive, it's your Meissner corpuscles. Okay. Imagine niyo na bakit sensitive yung mga parts na yan. For your heavy pressure, that's where you can see your pasignal corpuscles. So, pressure, P, pasignal. Okay? Yun na. For your pain, this is most numerous. Imagine mo 200 receptors per square inch. And for temperature, so you have your cold receptors and your hot receptors. Kapag sobrang lamig na, nagnanab ka na. 'Di ba? Malamig na siya sa iyo, manhit na siya sa iyo. Okay, so and then you have your hot receptors. Kapag sobrang init na guys, magte-take over na si pain. Bakit? Para tanggalin mo yung kamay mo dun sa mainit na yon. Tama? Okay. Next po. And then you have your layers of the skin. So you have your epidermis. So keratinized siya. Ayun, stratified squamous epithelium. Next. Okay, so you have your corneum lucidum. Then the next slide. Next slide po. I-share ko na lang to. Granulosum, spinosum, basale. So just ano po, ang pinaka-uppermost layer is your corneum. Okay, that's where you can find your callus, C, and your the corn. Okay, kaya siya tinawag actually na corneum. And yung corona, corneum. Saan ba nakalagay yung corona? Sa taas. Siya yung pinaka-taas. And your stratum basale, it's your base. Okay, and it's your germinatum. Germ, di ba? Doon nanggagaling yung mga cells. Cell-dividing cells. You have 5 layers and imagine yung kada layer, may 3 to 5, 8 to 10. Okay, these are your cells. These are the cells where you can find those. Next po. Then you have your dermis. So, dense, collagenous, connective tissue. Sinabi ko kanina, di ba? Ayan o, fibroblasts, adenocytes, macrophages. Okay, collagen and elastin. Okay, ito yung sabi ko kanina, your cleavage and your stretch marks. Pag may tanong, saan mo makikita, what layer, it's your dermis. Okay, bakit nagkakaroon ng stretch mark ng tao? Malamang hindi ganun rami ang kanyang elastic fibers. Next po. Okay, so 2 layers of the dermis. You have your papillary or your dermal papillae and your reticular region. Okay, so pababa po yan ha. This is, ibig sabihin sa lahat ng layers, this is the innermost or the deepest layer. So I have a question. Si epidermis, merong 5 layers and for each layer, merong 3 to 5, 5 to 10. And then si dermis, meron lang siyang 2 layer. So sino mas makapal? Sino mas makapal? Next slide po. Ayan, di ba? Naninang kayo, di ba? Sino mas makapal? Si dermis. That's the extension, guys. Di ba, imaginein mo lahat ng 5 layer nandito, tapos ito, ganito lang siya kanipis. And then si dermis, ito siya. Okay, so pag tinanong which is the thicker layer, it's your dermis, guys. Pero which has the more layers, it's your epidermis. Okay? Ito yung subcutaneous na sinasabi ko kanina. Ito yung may mga adipose fats. Okay. Next po. Just familiarize yourself with the picture. Doon nyo po makikita, halimbawa sensory nerve endings. So may pain ba kay epidermis? Yes, may pain. Kay dermis, meron din malamang, di ba? Yan. Okay? So may dudugo ba kapag natapyas yung dermis mo? Syempre, may blood vessels dyan eh. Di ba? Next po. Okay, for the skin color, 3 ang responsible. Actually, 4. Melanin, carotene, hemoglobin, and sa environmental factors, pwede rin mag-contribute. So, yung melanin, Diba? Yun yung nagbibigay ng colors. And then carotene is the yellow-orange from the carrots. Diba? Hemoglobin is your pink to red. Okay. And then environmental factors, it affects the activities of your melanosome. So eumelanin, this is the brownish part and serves as protection for your UV light. Si phenylenolpheo-melanin, it breaks down easily. Ito po, common sa mga mapuputi. Ito common sa mga darker skin. That's why yung mga mapuputi, yung mga Americana, they are more prone sa skin cancer. Okay, because they have more pheomelanin which can be break down easily by UV light. So wala silang ganong protection sa skin. Kaya prone sila sa skin cancer. Next po. Yes, thank you for the reminder. Ayan, so skin appearances, white, pink to red, depende sa blood vessel, sa blood na nandoon. Albinism, di ba? It's a condition. Then for medical condition, familiar naman na kayo, cyanotic is for lack of oxygen. Jaundice, yellowish. Erythema, airy, it's red. Pallor, pale. Then you have your bronzing, common sa may Addison's disease or may mga conditions pertaining to your adrenal cortex. Then you have your bruising, hematoma po yan. Okay, pasa in short. And you have your leathery skin and your photosensitivity. Okay, yung mga madadaling magka-rashes kapag nainitan. I thank you. Next slide. Ayan. Okay. Ito, sagutan nyo na lang sa sarili. Okay, so you have the portions of the dermis. It's your, sinagutan ko na, di ba? Extend into the epidermis is, sige, sagutin nyo. Siyempre, yung nasa taas, dermal papillate. Next po. Tama? Siya yung karugtong nung nasa pinakababa ni dermis. Next slide. Okay, in cold weather, vessels in the skin constrict to reduce heat loss. Okay, pag nag-heat loss, mas lalo malamigin. Next po. Ako na ang sumagot. Next slide. And pertains within the skin, within, it's your intradermal. Okay, within, hypo, epi, those are your prefixes. Okay, next slide. Yeah, so we'll give the floor. Sorry guys for the extension and thank you for listening. I'll give the floor to Mr. Kada. Thank you so much.
Ready to go, guys. Okay. So good evening, everyone. So I am Prince Cedric Kaga from fourth year nursing. I am nursing student, fourth year. So today, ngayong gabi is i-discuss natin yung accessory structures of the skin. So, ano-ano nga ba yung mga accessory structures of the skin? So, normally makikita natin siya sa katawan natin. So, next slide po. So, yung accessory structures of the skin natin, first is yung hair. So, which can be visible in the outermost layer of the skin natin. So, pangalawa is yung skin glands. So mamaya i-discuss din natin ano-ano yung mga skin glands na yun. And pangatlo naman is yung nail. So next slide po. Okay. So una is ano nga ba yung hair? So yung hair, it is a keratinous filament growing out of the epidermis. So it is made up of dead keratinized cell. So si hair nga daw is isa siyang keratinous filament or protein fiber na nag-grow out siya from the epidermis. So, it is made up nga daw of dead keratinized cell. So, ito, matatanong natin. So, ano nga ba si keratinized cell? Saan ba siya nanggaling? Paano nga ba siya nag-form? So, si keratinized cell, so, galing talaga siya sa bulb. So, mamaya i-discuss natin yung bulb. So, i-explain ko lang din si bulb in the simplest form. Siya yung pinaka-base ng hair follicle natin. So, si bulb is doon nag-occur yung dividing cell at nag-grow from the bulb tas papunta doon sa hair shaft. So, nabanggit ko yung dividing cell. So, ano yung sinasabi kong dividing cell doon? So yung dividing cell na sinasabi ko doon or tinutukoy ko is siya si keratinized cell. So nagkakaroon ng phases of mitosis doon. So which is sabi nga nagde-divide nga. So nagde-divide siya. So pag nagde-divide sila, mag-grow siya doon. Then hanggang papunta yung cell na yun, papunta doon sa taas ng hair shaft po natin. So kaya kaya yung makikita natin sa buhok natin. So example, ito yung buhok natin. So it means keratinized cell na to siya. It means walang cell growth or cell dividing na nangyayari doon. Kasi dead cell na siya. So wala na siya. So yun lang po. So next slide po. So may mga sections of hair natin. So next slide. So tatlo siya. So we have three main sections of hair. So una is yung hair shaft. Then pangalawa yung hair root natin. And yung pangatlo is yung hair bulb. So next slide. Ayun. So si hair shaft. Ano nga ba si hair shaft? Sabi dito, it is the visible part of the hair that sticks out of the skin. So it is surrounded by the glands. So si hair shaft is visible siya, makikita natin siya sa outermost layer of the skin natin. So makikita natin yung buhok natin sa arm natin, yung medyo dulo ng buhok natin. So yan yung pinaka-simplest form. Yung dulo sa buhok natin, ayan yung tinatawag natin na hair shaft. So it is surrounded by the glands. So paano ko ba siya explain? Kaya siya it is surrounded by the glands kasi sa hair follicle natin. So si hair follicle, so sa madaling term na yun, si pores, makikita naman natin doon sa skin natin, may pores doon, di ba? So ang tinatawag doon si hair follicle na yun. Si glands, lalabas doon si sebaceous glands, tsaka si sweat glands. Pag lalabas doon yung dalawang glands na yun sa skin natin, syempre, nasa surround doon yung hair shaft natin. So next slide po. Ayan, so we have a different. Okay lang po. Kahit konti lang. So we have a different shape of hair shaft. Una is yung straight. Pag straight yung buhok mo, example, pag straight yung buhok mo, it means may round shaft. Round yung hair shaft mo. Pag wavy naman yung hair mo, slightly oval yung shape ng hair shaft mo. Pag curly naman or kulot, so it means flatten yung shape ng hair shaft mo. So next slide po. So ito lang, konting explanation lang. So mapapatanong tayo is, bakit yung mga ibang tao may kulot, may straight yung buhok, may wavy? Ayan, katulad ni Kuya Finiel, medyo kulot-kulot kami onte na straight. So paano nga ba yun? Paano nga nangyayari? Kasi minsan natatanong natin so paano ba nangyayari yun? So mostly is, in the first place, so when the hair grow, so it comes out in the tiny hole. Yung tiny hole na sinasabi ko kanina, siya yung si pores na tinatawag natin na si hair follicle. So yung hair follicle natin is, ayun nga, nakadetermine talaga siya sa genes natin. So ibig sabihin, example, si mama mo is wavy hair, tapos si papa mo is kulot. So yung magiging genes mo is, it's either yung magiging hair type mo is magiging medyo wavy din or totally nakulot. So madaling salita lang din is nakadepende lang talaga sa genes mo at kung paano magre-react o paano i-read si DNA mo. Kaya mapapansin natin sa mga sa ibang bansa, example yung mga Black Americans, mapapansin natin mostly sa kanila kulot. So example ako, yung mother ko at yung father ko Black American, tapos nakita ko yung hair type nila is kulot sila. So it means yung magiging hair type ko din is kulot rin. So ganun lang yung simplest explanation doon. So we have the main sections of hair. So una is the hair root. So it is in the skin and extends down deeper layer of the skin. So si hair root din is nakasurround siya sa hair follicle. Ano nga ulit si hair follicle? Sa simplest term, si hair follicle is siya si pores. So ayun lang po, i-take note lang natin yun. So next slide po, kahit ito na lang para wag na 9:20 na din eh. So si second is the medulla. So si medulla, so siya yung pinaka innermost layer of the hair shaft. So siya yung pinaka soft tsaka fragile ng layers of the hair. So kumbaga sa earth's crust, si medulla, siya yung pinaka core ng hair natin. So next slide po. So si cortex. Si cortex naman, siya naman yung middle layer of the hair shaft natin. So kumbaga siya yung pinaka-thickest hair layer natin. So may function din siya or may napoprovide din siya. So it provides hair strength, color, tapos texture din sa hair fiber natin. So next slide po. So, and the last is the cuticle. So, cuticle is the outermost layer of the hair shaft. So, it is formed from the dead keratinized cell. So, kung maalala niyo kanina yung in-explain ko kanina, so si keratinized cell is galing siya doon sa bulb, nagdi-divide sila ng cell doon hanggang sa nag-partway sila, tapos nag-grow yung cell doon sa loob kay bulb. Yung cell na yun, papunta siya doon sa root ng hair natin hanggang papunta doon sa labas ng hair shaft natin. At once na tumubo yung hair natin, so it means siya na yung keratinized cell na sinasabi natin. Siya na yung dead cell na tinutukoy natin. So ayun lang po. Kuya Pinel.
Ayan, so right now, we'll be having 2 rooms to accommodate rin kasi I know na, ayan, talagang pinaghandaan din talaga ni Kuya Prince rin to. We'll be having 2 rooms to accommodate the number of participants. So 1 room will be housing the first years and then 1 room would be housing the second years. And then, yeah, you guys could feel free na lang to be a part of the second years will be on room 2. Yeah. So I'll see you there for room 1. You guys could talk to the tagito. Yan, kila Ate Charity and Ate Kuya Prince. And then we'll be meeting here later around 9:40. I see you guys.
Hi, good evening. Wait lang po natin si Kuya Prince. Hindi pa siya nakapasok. Naliligaw din siya, kagaya ko kanina. Naligaw ng breakout. Breakout room.
Ate, rinig po ako.
Yes po.
Yes po, ganyan.
Yes.
Okay, thank you po. Saan nga ba ako nag-stop?
Ayun, wait lang. May nakikita po kayo sa screen?
Yes po.
Meron po.
Yes po.
Saan tayo, Prince?
Sa may, wait lang. Sa may hair root ata yun, pero tapos ko na ata yun.
Cortex. This one?
Hindi, taas pa po ata ate.
Ayun, this one.
Diyan ba? Ako, yan. Tapos na ako dyan. Sa may, ano ba next slide niyan? Tapos na din, layers na ata. Bulb. Dyan, bulb ata. Oh,
Layers of
bulb.
hair rot po.
Layers pa rin. Hindi ko matandaan ah.
Medula po. Sa may medula.
Medula. Mahanap mo dyan ate.
Actually, ito rin yung huli ko nakita, yung picture na to eh. Pero hindi ko sure kung saan sila banda. Kung saan na banda. Kasi tatlong slide.
Yan ata. Ayun.
This one. Dito na lang para
This one.
Hmm.
maulit.
Kahit ang daming chat ah. Sige, sa medula. Medula.
Ayan.
Okay. Okay, so continuation lang naman to. So, tapos na ba to? Medula. Ayun, tapos na to. Nasabi ko na to. Ito yung kanina sinabi kong pinaka-core ng hair. Next slide po ata, Ate Cha. Bulb daw, bulb. Sa bulb na lang.
Wait lang. Alam niyo ito problema sa laptop ko. Hindi ko siya next slide. Wait lang po ha. Very, very. Hindi, pag naka full screen siya, hindi ko po siya next slide. And hindi ko siya alam ayusin. So, wag ko na lang po siya i-full screen.
Sabi ni Finiel 9:40 daw, balik daw doon.
Sige.
Di ko sure eh, basta ayun yung sabi niya. Okay. So next slide niyan. Sunod niyan. Sa may ano daw eh, sa may bulb. Tapos na bulb. Ayan, so dyan tayo. So base of the hair follicles. So next is the bulb. So si bulb, kaya ng sabi ko kanina, siya yung pinaka-base ng hair follicle natin. So kung makikita natin dyan sa picture, dyan sa pinakababa niyan, andyan yung si hair bulb. Yung shape niya is, alam niyo po yung prutas na, ano ba yung green? Avocado. Parang ganun na shape. So yan siya si hair bulb. So siya yung house of papilla in which occurs dividing of cell. And it grow to build a hair shaft. So gaya ng sabi ko kanina, so si hair bulb nga, so siya yung house of papilla. It means doon nagkakaroon ng dividing cell. So ano nga ba yung dividing cell? Sino yung cell na tinutukoy natin kanina? Siya si keratinized cell. So si keratinized cell, nagdi-divide sila doon. Tapos nag-grow din sila to build a hair shaft. So si hair shaft, balikan natin. Sino ba si hair shaft? Si hair shaft, yun yung nakikita natin na buhok sa outermost layer of the skin natin. So in order para tumubo nga si hair, so kailangan nag-grow at nagdi-divide si keratinized cell doon sa loob kay bulb para ma-produce at mag-grow nga sila hanggang sa tumubo si hair. So ayun lang yung pinaka-simplest form lang. So next slide po. Matrix. So si matrix naman, so siya naman yung responsible for hair growth and to produce new hair. So part din siya ng hair follicle din para mag-produce din siya ng keratinocytes para mag-form ng hair shaft of growing. So si matrix din is kumbaga kasali din siya kay sa loob kay bulb. So siya din responsible nga din po siya sa hair growth din and mag-produce din ng new hair. So siya din yung nagpo-produce ng keratinocytes. So kanina si bulb, ang sinabi natin is doon nagdi-divide at nag-grow si keratinocytes. Si matrix naman, siya naman yung nagpo-produce ng keratinocytes. So ayun lang yung pinakamadaling isipin natin. Si bulb, in order para mag-grow si keratinocytes, so doon mag-grow si keratinocytes doon sa bulb or si keratinized cell. Si matrix naman, siya naman yung nagpo-produce ng keratinocytes or yung keratinized cell. So ayun lang po. So next slide. Ayan, arrector. Paano babasahin yan? Nakalimutan ko. Arrector pili, arrectopili. Basta arrector pili, yun tama. So, siya is isang smooth muscle. So, extend from the dermis to the side of the hair follicle. So, it contracts and pulls the hair straight, causing goosebumps. So, nai-imagine nyo ba? Pag napunta kayo sa isang lugar na madilim, di ba pag giniginaw kayo, tapos tumataas yung balahibo nyo. Ay yung pinaka common na term. Tumataas yung buhok ko, tumataas yung buhok ng katawan ko, tumataas yung balahibo ko. So, isipin natin, pag ganun yung nafe-feel natin, nag-goosebumps tayo eh. So, it means, nagko-contract yung si arrector pili, tapos si hair follicle. Pag nag-contract sila together, so ang tendency nun is tatayo yung hair mo. So, tatayo, tapos mag-straight sila. So, ayun lang isipin natin si Rector Pillay. Next slide. Ayan ba? Ayan si hair root plexus. So, si hair root plexus, sensory nerve ending surround the bulb. So, makikita natin dyan sa picture. Di ba si bulb, yung sabi ko kanina, yung structure niya parang avocado, ganun. So, sa structure na yun, nakapalibot sa kanya yung mga sensory nerve endings. So, siya si hair root plexus. So, yung function din niya is nagsusupply din siya ng nutrients para mag-grow din yung hair. At hindi lang siya yung nagsusupply ng nutrients para mag-grow yung hair. Isa din siyang receptors, which means nagsisend din siya at nagre-receive din siya ng mga nerve impulses. So, example, pag binunot mo yung buhok mo sa arm mo, yung maliit, pag binunot mo, so syempre, makakaramdam ka na parang aray konti. So, it means, nagkakaroon ng sending and receiving receptor doon sa nerve impulses mo. So, ayun lang. Ayun lang yung function ni hair root. So, siya yung taga-supply ng nutrients para mag-grow yung hair. At the same time, receptor din siya. So, next slide po. Ayan. So, the hair growth cycle. So, may tatlong cycle tayo ng hair growth cycle. So, una yung anagen, which is the growth phase. So, the catagen, so transitional phase, and the telogen or the resting phase. Okay, next slide po ate. So, si anagen. Si anagen naman, siya yung pinaka-active growth talaga. So sa anagen, so the cells in the root are dividing rapidly. So, it can vary about 2 to 6 years. So, si anagen, so sinasabi dito, isa siyang active phase or active growth nga. So, si anagen din, doon din yung, kumbaga, pinaka-mabilis na nagra-rapid na nagdi-divide yung mga cell doon. Which is, yun nga, kanina sinabi ko, si keratinized cell. So, yun nga, can vary about 2 to 6 years. So, next slide po. Nawala ako ante. Next slide, ate Cha. Ayan, so si catagen, it is a short period of time. So, only 2 to 3 weeks on average. So, meaning, si catagen sa phase na to is after 2 to 3 weeks on average, yung hair follicle natin is mag-shrink siya about normal length. So, mapapansin natin, so from anagen, nandun pa siya sa loob, tapos from to catagen, so medyo lumalabas na siya onte doon sa innermost layer hanggang sa papunta kay telogen. Mamaya i-discuss din natin yan. Then, papunta naman ulit kay anagen. So, ayun lang. Si catagen, short period of time lang nga siya. 2 to 3 weeks on average. So, after nun, yung hair follicle natin is mag-shrink siya. About normal length lang. So, next slide po. Yan, si telogen. Si telogen, ito yung sinasabi nating last phase or the resting phase. So, si telogen, ano na talaga siya? Yung hair shaft natin, yung buhok natin, nag-breaks na talaga siya. So, yung manifestation nun is yung existing hair natin is nagpo-falls down na. Pero, hindi ibig sabihin nun na nagpo-falls down is hindi natutubo. Kasi, ibig sabihin lang nun, mag-grow naman siya into new hair. Kaya nga sinasabi natin, from anagen to catagen to telogen, so babalik ulit siya kay anagen. So after kay telogen, so sinasabi dito, takes new hair, edi babalik naman siya ulit doon kay phase kay anagen. So mag-grow na naman ulit. Ganun lang. Ayan, skin glands. So sa skin glands, may tatlo tayong skin glands sa katawan natin. So we have the sudoriferous glands, or yan yung natawag nating sweat glands, yung sebaceous glands, and the ceruminous glands. Ayan, wait lang po. Okay. Si Sudoriferous glands. So, ang hirap kasi ng term eh. Di ako sanay. Sweat gland talaga tawag ko sa kanya. So, una is si sudoriferous glands or tinatawag natin si sweat glands. So, sudori means sweat. And the ferrous is bearing or production. Ayun lang yung pinagkaiba nila. So, production of sweat glands. Ganun lang. Sudoriferous glands. So, next slide po. So, si sweat glands is may two main types siya. So, una i-discuss natin is si eccrine sweat glands. So, si eccrine sweat glands is siya yung secrete cooling sweat. So, secretes directly to the skin. Then, composed of 98% water and the rest 2% is nadidissolve sa salt and nitrogenous waste. So, ito lang isipin natin. Pag imagine natin pag tumatakbo tayo, habang tumatakbo tayo, nag-rise yung temperature natin, 'di ba? Sobrang init, ganun. Tapos mapapansin natin pag nag-stop tayong tumakbo, tapos nag-rest tayo, 'di ba? Tumataginting yung pawis natin. Tapos nararamdaman natin na parang nagko-cool down yung katawan natin. So it means yung pawis na yun na lumalabas doon is siya si eccrine sweat glands. So yun yung role niya. Yung role ni eccrine sweat glands is nagsisecrete siya ng cooling sweat. So ayun lang. So yung pangalawa po, next slide po. Ayan, si apocrine sweat gland. Si apocrine sweat gland stimulates during emotional stress or excitement. So secretes in hair follicles, malamang. So magbibigin siya in puberty. So kadalasan yung area na doon nagkakaroon ng sweat glands doon is example sa armpit, sa groin area, tapos sa area of the nipple. Tapos ang malala pa din dito is si apocrine sweat glands is nagsisecrete siya na may amoy. So example, una sa stimulates during emotional stress or excitement. Naranasan nyo din ba na minsan pag sobrang excited ka na sa isang sitwasyon, minsan parang hindi ka mapakali, minsan pinagpapawisan ka? Yon, isa din yun sa example ni apocrine sweat glands din. Tapos, example din sa during puberty stage din. So, yun nga, minsan sa during puberty stage, 'di ba yung iba sa atin nagdi-deodorant, 'di ba? Parang ganun. Kasi kadalasan doon mas nagpo-produce ng sweat gland. Example doon sa armpit, ayun. Example sa groin area din. Tas ganun din sa area of the nipple din. Kaso nga lang may mga ibang tao din na alam mo yun, pag kulang yung hygiene nila sa katawan nila, during na nagsisecrete yung sweat gland na yun o yung apocrine sweat gland na yun, minsan may amoy. So, hindi talaga maiwasan yun kasi ayun talaga yung characteristic ni apocrine sweat gland. During secretion, may odor talaga. So, ayun. Yan, si sebaceous gland naman. 9:42 na. Teka lang, wait lang. Ano ba sabi nila doon?
9:45 daw.
9:45? Okay.
Pero
So-
i-ano na lang kita, update na lang kita.
Okay. Okay po.
Don't worry, diretsuhin mo lang yan. Ito, perfecto.
Okay.
Kalanan ko naman eh. Sorry talaga.
Okay lang. Okay lang ate. So, next naman is si sebaceous glands. So, sebaceous glands, isa siyang sebase grease or sobrang grease nga niya talaga tingnan. Tapos, oil gland din siya. So, connected din siya sa hair follicles. Tapos, nagsisecrete lang din siya only sebum. So, sino nga ba si sebum? So, si sebum is isa lang siyang natural oil skin. Isa siyang natural oil na nagpo-produce siya doon sa skin and scalp. So, ano ba tawag dito? Ang function ni sebum is nakakatulong siya para ma-moisturize yung hair shaft natin. And at the same time, mapoprotektahan din niya yung hair follicle natin or yung pores na pumapasok na mga ibang microorganisms. So, yun din naman yung purpose din ni sebaceous glands. Kahit ganun, kahit sabi natin medyo malansa parang ganun, o ganun yung term, pero at least nakakatulong din siya. Kasi, kaya hindi masyado nagiging dry yung hair natin. Kaya makikita natin parang, parang shine pa din ng hair natin. Dahil yan kay sebaceous glands. So, hindi lang nagbibigay siya ng shine sa buhok natin, but also nagmo-moisturize din. It gives moisturization doon sa hair natin. Ayan, next slide po. Next slide po ate, Cha. Ayan. So, serominous glands. So, si serominous glands, naka-modified siya kay sweat glands. Kay sweat glands doon sa external ear. So, yung makikita natin si airwax doon sa sa loob ng ear natin, si airwax is pinaghalo siyang sebaceous glands and serominous glands. So, isipin natin, una, si serominous glands is siya yung glands na galing doon sa ear natin, doon sa loob. So, nagmo-modify siya ng sweat glands. Since, sabi nga natin, si sebaceous glands din is, nagpo-produce din siya sa skin natin. So, nagmi-mix together din sila. Kaya si airwax, nakikita natin sa loob ng ear natin. Pag nakikita natin ganun, isipin lang natin na si sebaceous and si serominous glands is combination silang dalawa. Kaya na-form yung airwax doon sa loob. Ayun lang po. Next mo ate. Yan, sa nail na naman natin. Nails. So sa nail una naman, dito naman tayo sa nails, sa anatomy ng nails natin. Una is si nail body. Si nail body, siya yung portion ng nails na that is visible. So free edge siya, part extend pass in the distal end of the digit. So makikita natin sa kuko natin, yung parang pinakamalaking base talaga, siya yung nail body natin. Tapos meron din si nail root. So portion buried in the fold of the skin. So next slide po ate. Ayan, si lonula. So from the word itself, pag luna, minsan madidescribe natin moon, di ba? So it means little moon. So yung tinuturo ni Ate Cha, yung cursor dyan sa pinaka baba ng nail body natin. So para siyang crescent shape, kaya tinatawag din siyang little moon. Little moon. So ayun lang naman si lonula. Yan, wait lang. Si hyponechium. So si hyponechium is secures the nail of the fingertip. So siya yung pinaka-thickened layer ng stratum corneum. So matatanong natin saan ba si hyponechium? So si hyponechium is kung makikita natin, wait lang, lakihan ko lang. Kung makikita natin sa picture, si free edge, doon sa ilalim niya, nandoon nakalocate si hyponechium. Tapos nandoon din yung nandoon din yung thickest layer din, which is yung stratum corneum, yung outer layer din nun. Tapos ito din yung isipin natin, ano ba yung purpose ni hyponechium? So si hyponechium is, ang purpose lang naman niya or yung function niya is siya yung mag-act as a barrier from the germs and debris. Tapos siya yung nagsa-stop din para pumasok yung mga external substances sa loob ng nails mo or sa under ng nails mo. So ayun lang isipin natin kay hyponechium. Then last, yan. So si eponechium or si cuticle. So si cuticle naman is narrow band of the epidermis. So yung growth of nail natin is in the nail matrix. So isipin lang natin si eponechium is doon siya sa baba kay lonula, sa may kung madi-describe natin yung parang end layer, yung baba kay Lonula, yung parang payo. So yan, si cuticle. Yan. Siya si cuticle. So ayun lang naman yung pinaka parang basic description or madi-describe natin kay Nils. And that's all lang po. Thank you. Wait lang. Ano sabi nila ate?
Babalik na raw. Wrap up na lang natin, be. So, yan. Thank you for listening, first year. Sorry kung medyo na-extend. Kasalanan ko.
Hindi ate, walang kasalanan.
Napadami ako ng koda. Although, mas marami pa ako sa sasabihin about the skin. Pero, unfortunately, yun nga. Hindi ko na-manage yung time ko. But, thank you pa rin po. Sana marami kayong natutunan. Alam mo ba, si Kuya Prince, share ko lang baby rin yan sa pagtuturo. So, di ba? Kung kaya ni Prince, kaya niyo rin.
Ano lang din po, parang medyo first time ko lang din magturo. Kasi idol ko yan si Ate Cha. Si Ate Cha yung sabi natin, mama namin. Ayan. Siya yung
Mama,
taga-guide.
ate nga mama.
Ate, parang mama na din.
Ako lalo
Kasi siya yung pinaka nag-guide talaga sa amin sa section namin. Na-inspired ako sa kanya, kaya ayun, nag-go din ako.
Diba? So, sana ma-inspire din kayo, guys. So, kagaya nga nitong saying, di ba? When you learn, you teach. And when you get, you give. So, just pay it forward, di ba? Again, this is free. Wala kayong, you are not paying for anything. But what we will be asking is to pay it forward, di ba? Na sa inyong kapal, in one way or another, na kung anong kaya niyong ibigay. Meron pa sanang Q&A. Gusto ko kayong tanungin kung meron kayong mga questions sa amin ni Kuya Prince. Pero saved by the bell kami. Balik na tayo guys sa breakout. Sa main room. Okay? So, when you click, may mga last, muna si Kuya Pinyal. Welcome everyone and thank you talaga.
Welcome po.
Leave breakout room po huwag kayo mag-leave ng room. Okay, para bumalik
bigyan ko muna sila ng motivation kung bakit nila itutuloy.
Ayan. Sige, go Prince.
Ito po ako po yung isang student na hindi naman ako katalinuhan. Hindi rin ako nag-excel sa klase. Pero more average lang naman. So, ang mapapayo ko lang is huwag niyong sukuan. Tapos minsan darating kayo sa phase during second year, third year, darating kayo sa phase na tatanungin niyo yung sarili niyo, para sa akin ba tong course na to? Kaya ko ba to? Pero at the same time, isipin mo kung saan ka nagsimula ulit, kung paano ka nagsimula. Nakaya ko na nga nandito na ako, ba't pa ako aatras? So, tuloy nyo lang hanggang graduate, hanggang sa makakuha ng RN, di ba? So, tuloy lang. So, wag lang kayo mag-doubt sa sarili na hindi nyo kaya. Kasi lahat tayo kayang-kaya natin. So, ayan lang. So, magta-transfer na po ba tayo?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you po. Tara, mag-ano na tayo. Transfer na tayo doon.
Just so to be quick, so this is just the study group, the first study group that we have in mind in regards to what we'll do sa Tarito, what we want to initiate. But as you guys could see, we are clearly lacking in volunteers. We don't have as many volunteers as we would like to be able to really help out, diba? So right now we would like to ask, we'll be sending a G form. April Jane, are you there? we would like to ask for the G form to be sent on the chat box. So this G form we're asking for your help as well because evidently we can't do this alone. And just so that you guys would know, the name of this initiative is the Samaritan Initiative. So why the Samaritan Initiative? So as you guys know, napag-aralan naman natin siguro sa TFN, so Nightingale was the first official nurse, di ba? But it goes back to even the Knights of the Columbus, the Knights of Lazarus, and even to the Samaritan. And what did the Samaritan do? The Samaritan helped without asking anything in return. And that's what I would like to ask from you guys as well. I know some of you guys are able to help. Some of you guys have the capacity to help. That's what I would like to ask from you guys. Paano tayo mag-survive ng nursing if we don't help each other? Mahirap na nga mag-isa. Diba? So the least that we could do is help each other out. So that's what I would like to ask from you. Please fill out the form if you have the heart to serve others as well. And I think that's the heart of nursing. The heart of nursing is helping out, not asking for anything in return. So we have a list of rules there, but we would like to encourage everyone to join. Access denied? Hello? Tayo dyan. Patay tayo dyan. Yeah, use your OLFO account. Okay. Yeah, please use your OLFO account. So that's So this G form is only for those who please answer everyone. Please answer the G form. So this is for everyone. Nagkamali ka ata ng sinend April Jane. Yeah, yung request to be collaborate, to collaborate. Ayun. Yung isa. Yeah. Okay, as I was saying, ayun, so our goal is to train trainers. So we will not be teaching, we hope to teach you guys as much as we could, di ba? Pero, guys, we are students as well. 4th years na kami and we would like to graduate rin naman. So what we would like to ask from you guys is, for you 2nd years, we would like to ask for you volunteers to teach the 1st years. And we will be teaching you magtuturo kami sa 2nd years, and yung mga 2nd year magtuturo sa mga 1st year. And then yung mga 1st year, sila yung magpaplano nito. So that we could have at least a moving system of help to one another. Okay? Can I get a thumbs up if naintindihan? Okay. So what more? So we'll be talking about the future group studies. Okay. No, it's okay. April Jane, thank you for your help. We'll be talking about the future group studies at the later time, but for now, please answer that, and we'll be expecting from you guys, or not rather. We hope that you could be a part of this initiative. Yes. Major subjects lang muna ang focus natin because yun naman talaga yung medyo magiging problem. Major subjects. At the same time, us 4th years would be willing and would like to help you guys in your major subjects, mga 2nd years. Okay? So if there are other more questions, feel free to message yun sa G form. Nasa G form yun lahat. You could have questions there and we'll just check it. So did everyone learn for tonight? Can I get a thumbs up kung may mga natutunan naman kayo? Kahit pa paano. Ayan, so yeah. Okay. So yeah, I hope we have more time we could learn next time. But for now, we'll be ending the meeting. Now. So before we end, can I ask everyone to please open their camera so that we could take a picture? Okay, so yeah, I just would like to recognize si Prince, si Ate Charity, and the rest of the people who made this possible. Diba? They volunteered as well. Hindi sila binabayaran, walang hinihingi sa kanila, walang binibigay sa kanila. It's just from the heart na makatulong. And I hope you guys would appreciate that as well. Okay? Let's make this a cycle of generosity and help. Okay. Okay guys, smile tayo. Smile tayo sa camera. I'll be taking a picture of every slide. So first slide muna. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, next. Okay lang yun sa mga hindi talaga kaya. Ito lang. 1, 2, open kayo. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, next. 1, 2, 3, smile. And last, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Before we end, can I ask someone to lead in prayer? Ayun pala, one of the rules, I always start and end with a prayer. Could someone lead in prayer? Mag-volunteer na lang, pambihira. Gusto mag-volunteer. Let's close our eyes and let's bow our heads and let's pray. Lord Jesus, we thank you for this night. I thank you, Lord God, for the young men and women here right now, Lord God, that are listening, oh Lord God, and those, oh Lord God, who are called, oh Lord God, to serve others as well. I pray, oh Lord God, that they may have the courage, oh Lord God, to step up, to help others, oh Lord God, that they may have the humility, oh Lord God, to know, oh Lord God, that it's by your grace alone that we are able to study, oh Lord God, in this university, oh Lord God. And of course, oh Lord God, have the faith, oh Lord God, that we could finish this all together, oh Lord God, and that we also have the love for one another. I thank you, Lord God. May you be glorified through all of this, and may we have learned something tonight. I pray, Lord God, na magtuloy-tuloy pa to, and may we all help each other to finish this race. Thank you, Lord God. May we have a cycle of generosity and love through you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So we'll be discussing that with our leaders. So first, just fill out the G forms, and once we get the volunteers, the next list of volunteers will be meeting up so that we could schedule the next group study. Okay, that's all. Good night, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you po. Maraming
Thank you
salamat po sa mga
po.
volunteers.
Thank you, Kuya Sam.
Salamat po kayo lalo.
Thank you.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Thank you naman.
Thank you.